Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3, the Ultimate Pyromancer Guide. Another post-commentated episode. We haven't had one of these in quite a while. Um, Unfortunately, what happened is I recorded this episode yesterday, and as you know, if you watched the previous episode, I have a brand new mic. And the thing about this mic is that unlike my old one, it's not just kind of a plug and go mic. Like it's not a USB one. It actually needs like a mixing board and a preamp and all that shit to basically work. And I plugged in my mic. I was like, let's go record. I have everything ready. And I forgot to turn up the volume for the mic on my mixer. So yeah, I basically spoke for almost 30 minutes and didn't record a word of it. I was like, fuck. Yeah, it's kind of just like something that I assume is gonna happen more than once. I just have a feeling, mainly because I've had my old setup, the old mic. I've had that for like over 4 years. I've had that since like November of 2011, and it's just something that I was like really used to. You know, always having my mic plugged in, not having to like change settings and things like that. So yeah, it's probably not the last time this is gonna happen. Back to the game. I'm currently in the process of advancing Sirius's questline. Basically, I'm pretty sure that once you hit Irithil, this trigger becomes available. Like a summon sign appears, and you're summoned to help her. Fight Kraton of Mira, of all the people. Well, he's Kraton the Wanderer. But you get the idea. So here we are. This is essentially a gank, but it's not really a gank because Kraton is OP as fuck. He's like way over leveled. And I don't even feel sorry for ganking him. He hits hard. This is what I didn't pay attention to while I was playing. But his weapon is not dealing lightning damage. He's using the Dragon Slayer axe. It's not a great axe, I think it's just an axe. And it used to deal lightning damage in Dark Souls 2. It was a really good weapon. Like, I would say it was one of the best weapons in the game easily. One of my favorites. And Kraton used it as well, but it was always kind of hinted that his was a fake. Because it didn't deal lightning damage. And this one doesn't deal lightning damage either. So yeah, we ganked him. Cirrus, well done. She didn't really do much. She doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it was nice helping a friend out. Why not? I mean, I like this little event. I think it's a cool concept, you know, of not just like you summoning NPCs, but NPCs summoning you as well. I think there's actually several places where you can do this throughout the game. I'm pretty sure there is a thing with Henri as well later on, which I'm trying to do. But yeah, we are basically wrapped up here. I think the next area I'm gonna be heading to is Smoldering Lake. I'm sorry that this had to be like this. I honestly hate pause commentating. I know some people like it, some people prefer it to live commentary, but I really don't like it because I don't know, it's just like it takes me out of the moment. Like the commentary is good because like things happen in real time. And often when I'm doing post, it's just kind of like I feel like it's more boring. Even though it's easier to talk about things because well, you're not paying attention to the game. Anyways, Smoldering Lake, I'm going here to pick up 2 more Pyromancy tomes. And I think with that, I think I've actually collected all of the Pyromancy tomes. Of course, I'm not going to be able to use some of them until I get Carla the Witch. But, you know, still we have all of them. I was talking about this when I came to this area as well, but I really hate this area, to be honest with you. Not the Demon Ruins, but this surface area. Anyways, we're going here to take care of Horus. Thought I might as well get it out of the way. But yeah, again, I'm just not a big fan of this area with the ballista. And yeah, I tried Pyromancy. I don't know why. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like I'm not a huge fan of the surface area, even though I really like the Demon Ruins. But, you know, luckily you don't have to spend much time here. God damn, that headpiece looks so stupid. That's what I was showing. This is something I think you can do that's new in this game, and that you can do the running R1 and then follow it up with a jumping. God damn, I'm yawning. Jump and follow it up with a jumping attack, which is really good for killing crystal lizards. Anyways, Horus. He was a lot faster than I thought, but he doesn't deal a lot of damage. In fact, he's incredibly easy to kill. Especially if you have a spammy weapon like this straight sword. Nice critical. Yeah, he has quite a bit of HP, but not much besides that. Did I forget to pick up the Levelin shield, now that I think about it? No, I didn't. That's good. And a couple of large shards. I'm just checking if I had... enough. In terms of weapon upgrades or weapon infusion, I still don't exactly know what to go for. And if you have like suggestions, feel free to let me know. I think I'm gonna put off the bleed build, because as people have said, the bleed stat only really works if you have the luck stat upgraded as well. And the Pyromancer actually has super low luck stat starting out. And that is why, again, I think I've said this before, that is why apparently I was unable to bleed anything so far. Well, not unable to, but it's difficult to bleed things. Of course that hits you. That has such a huge AoE. But the second thing is, people have suggested the Chaos Infusion, which I don't want to do because I want to keep using Karthus Flame Arc. I think that's one of the coolest spells, honestly. And it's a buff, a really useful one. I nearly died and didn't even notice. And yeah, so I don't want to go for the Chaos, even though that scales with your Faith and Int, because then I'll be unable to use weapon buffs. So right now, honestly, I'm thinking of maybe a Raw Infusion. The Raw Infusion is actually pretty decent in this game. I saw that the worm was taking damage, so I was like, you know what? You might as well wait for it to die. Wait for it to die. I mean, you get a free undead bone shard, quite a few souls, and a miracle, which, you know, who cares about? I don't know. This enemy definitely seems Dune inspired, like a sandworm. I think it is even called a Karthus sandworm, this enemy. But yeah, you know, this is kind of boring, but you just gotta stand here and wait for him to die, essentially. It's kind of a wonky thing. I'm pretty sure that this was not intentional, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for him. Oh, no, he's dead. He's dead. And I forgot that you automatically get these items. I was gonna go back into Smoldering Lake to pick up all those treasures, but I was like, you know what? I'll just deactivate the ballista and get back there. And I think I ended up forgetting, because I just ran in here, picked up the... I almost used the Dark Sign by accident, like an idiot. So I just picked up the Pyromancy Tomes and got the hell out. I was thinking about something here. I was looking for Zorik's summon sign, which is right here. And I'm gonna end up summoning him because I was thinking about what would happen if you summoned Zorig and you got him all the way to where the real Zorig is, who is in this area. I'll come back and do that in a bit. So these enemies have a lot of HP, but as we'll all find out in a little bit, these ones actually bleed fairly easily, which means that they're probably very weak to bleed. That's probably the only reason I can bleed these enemies. This is when I decided, in a bit, decided to return to Zorig. That was the worst fireball whiff. It's weird watching yourself play because you kind of like, you recognize a lot more of your mistakes. That's what happened when I used to, before I used to do live commentary with Mortal Kombat. It's like I was watching things back and I was like, fuck, why did I do that? Whereas when you're doing it live, you tend to just kind of either move on or just not even notice it. So yeah, I decided to come back for Zorig. And as you'll see, he turned out to be a lot less useful than I anticipated him to be. Which is weird because when he invades you, he seems super strong. And even here, he deals a lot of damage. But, well, you'll see. Thought he was glitched out for a second there. He just like froze or something. Anyways, we're in tow with Zorig. Moving through the demon ruins, ganking everything. But that's fine. There's a lot of ganking going on in this episode. Me and Sirius. Zorig and me. Bit of ganking never hurts. Forgot there was 2 of them here. So I was like, you know what, we'll let Zorig handle it. Pretty sure he can't get poisoned. These guys are not weak at all to Pyromancy, which kind of makes sense. The problem with Zorig, as you'll see in a bit, is that number 1, he doesn't heal himself. And number 2, he kind of has low HP, surprisingly. You wouldn't expect kind of like these, this fucking enemy. I was like, no way. And he grabbed me. It's so annoying. And he almost grabbed me again there. Yeah, I hate enemies that just grab. There's quite a few throughout the Soul series, that are like really prominent grab moves. Anyways, it turns out that this is kind of a waste of time because there's absolutely nothing in this area. And this is something I noticed. These guys are 100% immune to fire. I just wanted to... I knew it wouldn't deal a lot of damage. I just wanted... And it fell on Zorik's head. I just wanted to get him to jump down. But it turns out these guys are fully 100% immune to fire. Which is weird because in the Soul series you don't often get... I was testing it out. You don't often get enemies that are completely immune to something. Like an element. So yeah, it's just kind of weird. But I mean, it makes sense. These guys are essentially like made of lava. I was looking at this weird dead demon. Again, I like this area. I'm assuming the lore behind this is that this is kind of like a different section of the demon ruins. Because even when in Dark Souls 1 we were in the demon ruins, we saw kind of a lot of things that we weren't able to explore. And I'm guessing this is probably one of those places. I mean, it is kind of a well-known fact that essentially Izalith and the demon ruins were kind of rushed areas in Dark Souls 1. Because basically that's the last area they worked on and they were running out of time. That's why Lost Izalith kind of feels so... What the hell is that noise? I'm just hearing it. Obviously, you know, I'm listening with my headphones while they're making weird noises. So yeah, it's like Lost Izalith and the Demon Ruins are that way because they were kind of rushed areas, especially Izalith, which you can definitely see. That is probably one of the biggest low points of Dark Souls 1, having to go through Izalith. I mean, there's nothing interesting there, enemy-wise. Lore-wise, sort of. Nothing interesting boss-wise. There aren't any, like, real challenges. The lava looks horrible. But, you know, it's understandable if they were, like, running out of time. Fucking rat. Here I was coming to get the Quelana Pyromancy Tome. Yeah, useful item, not that difficult to get to. Obviously, it's gonna be a while until we're gonna be able to use it. Decided to come down here. I was like, no, we're not going into the lava. And stupid Zorig, he decided it was time to walk into lava and die. So yeah, I think this is how they get around the problem of having the two Zorigs meet. In that they make him so stupid that he just ends up dying every single time. Yeah, he just ran into the lava, like straight up. So, you know, I'm not gonna stop him, obviously. More Groot to deal with. Here I'm going to pick up the, well, in a bit, but I'm heading towards the Izalith Pyromancy Tome. And I got so many Titanite shards in this area, which I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, but I kind of don't need them. Especially since this is gonna be a one weapon character. Like, in my previous playthrough, it was okay because I was kind of experimenting with a few weapons. I tried parrying for some reason. But here in this playthrough, it's not that much of a concern. I mean, it's good. Maybe I can sell them in the end or something. It's not even worth using Pyromancy, but I decided to for some reason. Obviously, everything in this area is highly resistant to fire. But we're making good progress here. Yeah, you gotta be really careful because these guys can poison you so easily. Anyways, I think I still had, and I still have quite a few blooming, not even blooming, but just like purple moss. So really no worries there. There is also another spell down here. One that I didn't end up going for because, well, we need kind of a specific setup to pick it up. The spell is called Sacred Flame. And it is in the middle of a pool of lava. So essentially, if you want to get it, I think you just need like as much fire resistance as you can. It's basically like picking up Chaos Storm or Chaos Firestorm in Dark Souls 2. How it was in a chest at the end of kind of like a floor of lava. Only difference is, yeah, apparently that disappears if you reload. Only difference is it's not in a chest, Sacred Flame. But it is a Pyromancy we're going to have to pick up eventually. But again, we're going to have to kind of work on a specific setup in order to make it happen. Definitely we'll need Flash Sweat. And I don't know which armor has the... Basically, I need an armor that has a lot of fire resistance, but also light enough.
I have not thanked you for your generous rescue. That dark spirit was one of Rosaria's fingers. Vile bastard offspring who lurk in the darkness. My sworn enemies. Fearsome invaders, to say the least. I would not have made it alone. You have my deepest gratitude.
So yeah, she gives you the silver cat ring and the blessed mailbreaker.
I offer you my sign.
The thing is, blessed weapons slowly restore your HP, so they might be good for like um, just having it on you. You know, you'd be combined with the Sun Princess ring, and she offers you help, which is kind of cool. Of course, she talked about how Rosaria's fingers are her sworn enemies, and that is kind of, you find out why if you know, join the Rosaria's fingers, she just like leaves. I realized Grey Rat is still in Irithyll. I'm really hoping he's not gonna die, cause if he does die again, I'll be disappointed. Burnt the Undead Bone Shard. I didn't do much else here because... Oh, did I level up? Yeah, I think I leveled up.
Very well. Then take note.
I think I ended up going for... Yeah. Going for a bit of Int, because I think that was one of the requirements for a spell I'm going to be using. Decided to use up the soul of the demon because obviously it's not made into a pyromancy. Now the soul of the old demon king, that's gonna be different.
Ashen one, this is
I decided to give her the item.
what lies within me, then let it choose.
I don't think this one is
Forgive
required for any of the endings, but still, whatever. Might as well give it to her, get it over with. I'm not gonna be using Yol anyways on this playthrough, so doesn't matter. I'll save that for... I think I'll save that for the cleric guide. I want to kind of make a dark cleric character in the end and use a lot of the kind of dark miracles. Basically a hexer. And then I'll use Yol's services. It's kind of a very obscure thing, the whole thing with Yol. I looked up the requirements or how his quest works. And it's basically... I guess it's like catered to new players because you have to die a lot. Like I think he gives you a level every 5 times you die or something like that. But yeah, you know, you kind of just like quote unquote have to force yourself to die. If you're... Because like I'm never gonna die enough to get him to complete his quest. And I think you need to let him level you up 5 times. And... that's where I stopped reading. I don't actually know what else happens after that. But I know that it's required for one of the endings. Chaos Gem. There's where you pick up one of the Chaos Gems. Yeah, I read the description of it. It's basically the Pyromancy weapon. In that it's gonna scale off of Int and Faith. But again, it gets rid of your ability to infuse, which I used the Dark Sign accidentally almost again. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I don't know if whether it's... Oh yeah, I was reading descriptions here. Feel free to pause if you want to read them. Quelana Pyromancy Tome, of course. We know the lore behind it. Something really cool that people have pointed out in like the subreddit and everything, is that if you look at the picture of the Quelana Pyromancy Tome, it is actually covered in the same material as Quelana's set. Like what was it? The gold... Is it like the gold rimmed set or something like that? You know what I'm talking about. But again, back to Chaos Weapons. I don't know which one is more efficient. Having a raw weapon with buffs or having a chaos infused weapon with no buffs. I mean, the problem is the chaos weapon is gonna deal elemental damage. I accidentally used my Ashen. It's gonna deal elemental damage, which again is good but also bad, you know, depending on how resistant the enemy is. So right now I'm leaning towards going for more of a raw weapon setup. Because apparently I've heard that raw infusions are perfectly functional in this game. So they are worth going for. So obviously with my int and faith characters, I am going to be using like blessed weapons for the faith character and lightning weapons, I think, as well. But I don't know. I got a rotten grew curved sword, which I guess it's a standard curved sword. I don't know if poison is based on luck as well or not. And here we have the Izalith Pyromancy Tome, the one we can actually use. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I don't know if poison is based on any stat as well. I think it's a lot less useful than bleed. I think these games are constantly switching. Like in Dark Souls 1, bleed was good and poison was shit. Actually, there wasn't even a poison infusion in Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1, was there? I don't know. There was rotten pine resin, I remember. And then in Dark Souls 2, bleed was completely shit and poison was okay. And then here in Dark Souls 3, it seems like we're back to the opposite. I don't know, maybe poison is good, who knows.
What have we here? A Pyromancy Tome from Izalith. Then you found the home of Pyromancy. Brilliant. I will never curse being old and undead again. Now, show it here, quickly. Let us channel them together. The primal pyromancy is known only to old Master Salaman.
He's so happy. That's what I like about this guy. He like actually appreciates you bring shit to him. So yeah, we get Great Chaos Fireball. The only problem with these spells, as I'll find out, we only get 2, Great Chaos Fireball and Chaos Storm. Only problem with them is that they all need 2 slots. I guess Great Chaos Fireball might be useful eventually. Or I don't know, Chaos Storm as well. But the thing is, I don't know whether they're worth 2 slots or not. It used to be the same thing in Dark Souls 1 as well. Chaos Pyromancies took 2 slots.
What have we here? By the gods, this inscription reads, Quelana, the ancient deity, one of the witches of Izalith. The last of them who wandered the lands. Then she must have returned to Izalith after all. But I regret to say, I cannot accept this. Quelana's pyromancies are for witches and must be learned from the mistress. But thank you for allowing me to peer upon such a thing. If only I were a woman.
You might want to visit Rosaria's Fingers about that. I think they can help you with that, Cornix. But yeah, obviously, like I said, you need Carla for that. I was trying to sell shit to maybe get enough souls to pick up one of the Izalith Pyromancies. Eventually, I realized that I can't sell enough shit to get 10,000 souls. I did sell these two. I kept the crossbow for emergencies, but I sold everything else. Because, you know, the thing is, free aiming is actually kind of difficult in this game. So it's good to have like a crossbow around to like shoot things down. I still need to collect that second pale tongue. And I think this is about where I start wrapping up the episode. We have a little bit more to go, but I don't know if I ended up leveling. I don't remember. But as we come to the end here, hope you guys enjoyed this post-commentated episode. Yeah, actually, you know what? It wasn't that bad. Talked about many of the same things that I talked about back in the episode as well. So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys very much for watching. I don't know why I'm walking around like I must have been talking about what I'm gonna do next, which is, I think, going to Irithil. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. See you later.